Good evening, Legionnaires. This is your horror host, Mr. Hare, Mr. Burke, and Mr. Myers from the Burke and Hare House of Horrors team. And tonight's video review is Halloween Kills.
Well, what can we say about this movie? We've just come back from it, as though the experience is still fresh in our minds, but I can just say Michael Myers was effing awesome and as brutal as F.
I'd probably have to say this is probably the most brutal I've ever seen Myers
in every
in
sense.
a movie.
You know,
every kills is dark, it's brutal, and every kill isn't just like a
it's filled with rage.
Yay. It's not like a yay the dead, it's more like a shit.
You know, and every kill throughout all the franchise, it just feels like it feels nothing. When he does it, it's just like.
For this one, he's angry. About you, Mr. Berg?
I honestly enjoyed it. I don't have many issues with the film. I think James Hugh Courtney is near enough passing Nick Castle of my favourite shape. I also think
mainly because he's had more time.
Yeah, maybe.
He's worked closely with Castle, but the thing is that I think what makes me laugh is that James Hugh Courtney, even though it's at age as well, but he's got that great physicality about him.
He's a full-on stunt double, so he can do the work and everything, and you know that he has a good stunt team as well under his belt.
What I loved about this movie as well as the fact is, yes, although Jamie Lee Curtis kind of took it from like a backseat kind of stand, I also like the fact he kind of explored the residents of Haddonfield, how Michael's actions have impacted and the mentality of the mob. Like, it wasn't like saying the mob is the only action, it's actually trying to say actually the mob is actually a very dangerous reaction. I kind of love the fact is it kind of showed up the dangers
the enticement of fear of Michael has drove them into.
And they become almost monsters themselves. It's
everything, and obviously no spoilers into reviews, but there is a particular scene where you're like, it's incredibly intense, and it is a mob scene, and it is like we've become worse than what Michael really is, to be honest. And obviously, with Jamie Lee, she sort of steps back a little bit, and it kind of gives Judy Gear and. Granddaughter's name.
Andy Maciek.
Thank you. Their time to shine and to become like the new faces of this
perfectly actually for the franchise.
And it's brilliant, and everything. And obviously, if some fans might be aware of, there is a flashback scene that takes us back.
The flashbacks pretty much are pure
1978.
These are pure fan service.
Yes.
These flashbacks pretty much like attention to detail. And I think what I'm also going to say is Carpenter's score. Oh my god, the score is absolutely
John did
incredible.
It and his son did it, so give him credit as well. It's
absolutely incredible.
The opening score, again, it's using more, vocabulary, more orchestra, in the theme, was ingenious, it was inventive, and it
also shows like the darkening with Michael.
It fits with
this
very dark perspective of the film and everything. But the whole score in general of the film was, brilliant. And Mr. Burke and Mr. Hare kind of pointed out, earlier, this was really one of the films in recent Halloween films that really was quite suspenseful. It really does drive you to the edge.
Isn't really what you call this character. He's more, like I say in this one, more of a force of nature.
Yeah.
He's unstoppable.
Right.
What I kind of like about it as well, I'm going to say, is that normally with some like movies like this one, everyone kind of like, with Jason, like in Friday the 13th, you get that walking parody where you rooted for every kill, but for this one, as much as the kills, you loved them, these kills were you actually started rooting for the mob. You actually started rooting for the citizens of Haddonfield. You actually rooted for these characters.
Each character that you see die
pretty much
it's human. They become humans, in a sense, become actual fleshed-out characters that you like.
See Michael make them suffer, you're like, oh my god, I mean, you got to admit some of the kills there, Berg, was brutal as hell.
Very brutal.
Very brutal. For example, I don't want to go into any spoilers or anything, but honestly, there were some kills that I didn't expect. I was like, I didn't see that coming, and it happened, basically. And the whole film feels very nasty. And I'm not just talking about the kills. I mean, everything you see with a mob in this film is just horrible. Because even though they tend to be doing something good by hunting down Myers, how they go about it and the decisions they make are horrific. No spoilers.
It represents what's really happening.
Yeah, it represents
how
people react. It only takes one small little spark.
And when Myers isn't in the film,
go out of control.
And when Myers is not even in the film, guys, and you can disagree with me on this, the film still feels like tension to the point of nerve.
Yeah,
it's
You
still
don't know
very
how they're
tense,
going to
but
act.
also they also explored the psyche of Michael. The fact is, in the Carpenter classic in '78, it was hinted that he's just a man, but there's also something more to this man. The fact is, no man could survive that. I love how they kind of
Loomis
played with that.
described him, that it was something other than, more than a man.
Being humanly
But
patient.
in this film and everything, it kind of explores that just a little bit more. Maybe there is something,
But it's never really, it's never
Will
confirmed.
they actually confirm something?
I hope not.
No, I don't think that. I
The
think
mystery of
they'll
Michael Myers still
they'll
fits.
still play with that
Yes.
idea.
I think I'm going to say for this movie, I'm giving it an 8.5. It's probably one of the strongest sequels to the Halloween franchise. It's definitely one of the most brutal. I think you can probably agree on the score.
Oh yes, yeah, I think
Solid.
solid 8.5 to 9 out of me. Obviously, ratings can change. Obviously, next time you see it more and more and more, opinions may change.
This is our first time.
Different viewings, maybe we might feel
exactly.
different.
We might
but
see more plot holes as always.
the moment I will.
But right
say
now,
this,
fresh from our minds.
I,
Very happy.
I
Very
just
happy.
want to say this. I do prefer this over 2018 at the moment. I really do, because as people know, I have my issues with 2018. I didn't like Clark Kane stuff in that movie, but apart from that, I really enjoyed it. This one, now that Clark Kane's not in it, I really enjoyed it for how they got Michael and how they got this mob mentality.
I think all we're going to say is, guys,
We got it right.
please go see the movie, like and subscribe, and please stay spooky.